Today on ESPN, we take you back in time to some of the big matches of the early summer, plus the debut of the Global Wrestling Federation in North America. Hello, everyone. I'm Craig Johnson, and welcome to this edition of GWF Wrestling. In action, we will see Mukkan Singh. Now, when we first saw Mukkan Singh, we thought he might be Norman, but indeed, the man from Pakistan has terrorized the GWF in action so far. We'll see a youngster named Chaz against Big Bully Busick. Terry Daniels will go against Nature Boy Buddy Landell. And a viewer, Dave from Campbell, California, really wanted to see Rasta the Voodoo Man again, so we're going to bring Rasta back in action against Brian Adias. A star from south of the border, Phantasma, will be going against Sweet Daddy Falcone. We'll take a look at some of the highlights of the television title tournament, and then it'll be Jeff Gaylord against Tug Taylor. Some great action coming to you right here on ESPN. Stay tuned. The action begins next.
We were in the NWA together, one of my best buddies, Norman. It's great to see you here in the Global Wrestling Federation.
First of all, not your buddy, Pedicino, so shut up. I haven't been your buddy for a few months now. I'll tell you something. I got myself associated with the boss, and the boss told me one thing. He said, forget about Norman, forget about these...
Wait, Norman!
And forget about these snot-nosed people. I'll tell you something, I don't care. You know what? The Americans proved one thing to me several months ago. They got to go over to Persian Gulf, take 500,000 soldiers and $10 million of my tax money to beat a country the size of Rhode Island. I'm not too proud of any of that, Pedicino. I'm not too proud of you.
Norman, I don't understand. Well, I mean, you used to bring out teddy bears, and all the kids would give you teddy bears, and when the kids found out you were going to be here tonight, there's got to be 100 teddy bears here for you tonight. I mean...
You know,
I'm in shock.
You take all 100 teddy bears and add them up, they add up to more IQ than is in this building, Pedicino. I don't need to worry about teddy bears. I don't need to worry about little kids running up and wiping their dirty nose on my pant legs anymore, and I don't need no more toys. The only toy I'm going to have is anybody that wants to climb in that ring with me. The boss told me to beat him and drag him around like a toy.
You keep talking about the boss. Who is this boss?
Once you like to know, Pedicino, you're always snooping around. You want to know everything. You'll know soon enough, Pedicino. After victory, after victory, after victory, and the boss gets happier and happier, and the money keeps coming in my pocket, then maybe I'll have to bring the boss out. Maybe give a roll of nickels to you, Pedicino, so you can buy a new tie.
Well, Norman, let me ask you a question. What is I don't understand the get-up. The new outfit, I don't understand it.
The get-up is one thing. I went back to my roots. I went back to the great Pakistan people of the world, and I dug back in my history, and the boss told me, you know something? Forget Norman. Your real name now is Mukkan Singh. Mukkan Singh. Can you remember that? And if you don't want to call me Mukkan Singh, Pedicino, you can just call me the Great One.
All right, he's not Norman anymore. He's not the same old Norman I used to know. We'll be finding out more about the boss and about Mukkan Singh in the weeks to come here on the Global Wrestling Federation. I'm in shock.
Well, there you see the man formerly known as Norman, and can you get over what happened here last week?
Unbelievable, Craig. We saw the lovable Norman, the teddy bear man, the man who dressed up as Santa Claus, loved the kids like they were his own, went over the greatest makeover I've ever seen in wrestling, Craig. He is now Mukkan Singh, and he is a vicious, vile, mean, and nasty man in that ring.
Well, going right to work with those forearms and introducing Ravishing Ray Evans right to the top turnbuckle.
Ray Evans certainly isn't experience that Mukkan Singh has, but I don't think experience would make a hill of beans when it comes to wrestling this maniacal man from Karachi, Pakistan.
And from what we have seen in a couple of days past in action you weren't able to see on television, he is known for something known as the Karachi Crunch. Yeah. And when you're hit with that, it's bad news. Picking up Ravishing Ray Evans, Mukkan Singh going up, coming down with a big leg.
Oh, poor Ray Evans. Not a big fella, but compared to you or I, he's a big guy. But look at him next to Mukkan Singh. He's an ant, he's a flea, he's a mosquito. And Mukkan Singh just put that. How big would you say that leg is? If you can size legs, it's got to be about a 48 long, wouldn't you think?
Something between a sequoia and one of those big redwoods in the Big Sur country. Ravishing Ray Evans, a very good wrestling individual, a man who has held some regional titles in the Southwest. No slouch, but it looks like Makam Singh is taking the most and taking the sting out of Ray Evans.
Well, those punches by Ray Evans had no effect on Makam Singh, just like water off a duck's back, if you'll forgive that old cliche. Ray Evans just really cannot mount an offensive against Makam Singh. He is too big and just plain too mean.
We will see some other stars from the GWF on this edition of Major League Wrestling, including Big Bully Busick, Buddy Landell, the debut on Major League Wrestling of Rasta the Voodoo Man. You will not believe this individual. Plus, we'll see Bad Boy Billy Black and a Mexican superstar, Phantasma.
What a great show we have here today on Major League Wrestling, Craig. Global Wrestling Federation bringing in
There's the Norman Crunch. What?
That would pin any other wrestler, Craig, any other wrestler.
Usually it would, but apparently Makam Singh showing that Norman is no more. Singh takes Evans into the corner.
Here it comes, Craig. This is going to be the Karachi Crunch in the corner.
Crunch from Makam Singh.
Good heavens.
Good heavens, Mr. Evans. We'll see Big Bully Busick in action when rings return. From Powerhouse Hill, Big Bully Busick! Well, we see from Powerhouse Hill, Mark. Oh, I'm sorry, I always get it wrong. Big Bully Busick.
Powerhouse Hill's favorite son. And I'm sure they're going to erect a statue, put a plaque up, and give him the key to the city as soon as they can figure out who his parole officer is. Big Bully Busick. Just look at this guy. The hat, the mustache, the cigar, the attitude. He is just a total package, if you will.
And he's going in the ring against a young competitor from Los Angeles, California, known simply as Chaz, but I don't think a man who the fans think has one name, Big Bully Busick, calling him Mario all the time. He does bear a resemblance. There you see the good-looking favorite of the ladies here. That's Chaz. One of the light heavyweight competitors here in the Global Wrestling Federation, the only federation in the world that has a light heavyweight division, and we will be telling you a little bit more about that in the weeks to come.
Absolutely one of the greatest type wrestling matches you will ever want to see. A light heavyweight contest between two talented men. This certainly isn't it, but the light heavyweight division here at the GWF is something to behold, and I can't wait to get the light heavyweight division up and running here in the GWF.
No light heavyweight is Jim Cornette.
Oh, no.
I understand you had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier. We'll have that interview right after this match between Big Bully Busick and Chaz.
Well, Jim Cornette, the mouth that roared, I think he's known lovingly by his, by his fans. Did you see Big Bully Busick? We talk about how much he looks like Mario and how he's a big character. I think he's an unwrapped package as opposed to a total package. But this guy has got muscles on top of muscles. In the gym, no one can touch him. But as we said earlier, weights don't fight back. And I think if anybody ever will fight back against Big Bully Busick, it will be young Chaz. Now a test of strength here.
And there you see a very good look at that glove. The glove that's being hindered a little bit by our official, but you're talking about the glove that is used for the Bully Blaster.
Oh, yes.
Now, heart punches are banned in every federation as an illegal move, but Big Bully Busick says his Bully Blaster is not a heart punch.
Oh, well, the Pope isn't Catholic then, because that Bully Blaster is as much a heart punch as any heart punch it's ever been in wrestling. And look at Chaz here showing a good bit of determination and strength against Big Bully Busick. He puts a foot in the stomach. Gonna send Busick across, coming across with the hip toss. Didn't work. Look at Chaz, a big move. And now he gets the hip toss. Chaz really working on Big Bully Busick. And there, another hip toss over. Gonna work on that left arm, and you've got to take away a point of balance on somebody like Big Bully Busick. You just can't match him strength for strength. You've got to do something else, Craig.
You're talking about the balance, perfect balance right there by the Big Bully, a low center of gravity, and he looked like he might have gotten him. Chaz tries a couple times with some martial arts moves, but it's the big bully with a big, brawny move. And a thumb to the eye. That's how you stop the momentum of a quick man like Chaz, but he's still got the savate kick right to the chin of the big bully.
Chaz has got the right idea. He is not going in there and trying to match muscle for muscle with Big Bully Busick. He's trying martial arts. He's trying high-flying maneuvers, and there's one, but look at Busick.
Well, this flight was delayed, and finally the landing, a count of 2, as Big Bully Busick, I think, maybe had the knee towards the side of Chaz as the official. The lightest cover we've seen in a long time.
Well, I'm not surprised that Big Bully Busick would try a pinning combination just like that with a knee just in the proximity of the opponent. The official has to look out for these wrestlers in there, make sure no one gets injured. And he may have thought Chaz was down for the count there and tried to pin him. And oh my goodness, the clothesline from Big Bully Busick. We have yet to see the Bully Blaster in this match. And I think the referee may have been trying to keep young Chaz from having to suffer the effects of that heart punch. That's what it is.
And the reason you haven't seen the Bully Blaster is if we had seen it, we'd be talking about other things because it'd be another match in the ring or they'd be helping young Chaz out. Here's the reverse chin lock by the man from Weirton, West Virginia's Powerhouse Hill, Big Bully Busick. And, you know, a lot of people have been asking me where Weirton, West Virginia is. And I understand that, well, actually, I can't explain where it is because I really don't know where it is.
Weirton, West Virginia, one of the great smaller towns in the United States of America, just full of small towns. And let's say this about the smaller towns, that's where the Patriot is from. We talk about the Patriot being from all across the United States. I'm sure he would be proud to say he's from Weirton, West Virginia.
But I think Big Bully Busick would have a few things about him saying, here he goes, setting him up. There it is, the Bully Blaster right on target. Rolls him over. Count of 1, count of 2. That'll do it.
The winner of the match, Big Bully Busick.
We'll be back with more action, but here's a pre-taped interview with Jim Cornette and Stan Lane.
Fans, years of tag team success for Jim Cornette and Stan Lane. Gentlemen, Jim, we've got singles competition for Sweet Stan. Can he pull this off?
Let me tell you something. Sweet Stan can pull anything off. Just ask all the girls out there in Irving, Texas, where he's staying tonight. But let me tell you something right now. Sweet Stan Lane has been one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time, and now he's going to be one of the greatest single stars of all time. You just can't do everything at once, so just give him a chance. He'll show you. Right, Stan?
That's exactly right, Jimmy. You know, I've conquered all the goals that were to be conquered in the sport of tag team wrestling, so now here I am standing before you and all the world as soon to be one of the greatest single wrestlers of all time. Get used to it.
And let me just say one more thing, Scott Hudson. They better nail any championship belt in the Global Wrestling Federation down if they don't want this man to have it, because otherwise he's going to have all the gold around his shoulders and around his waist, and you can guarantee that right now. You can take it to the bank. You can bet on it. As a matter of fact, if I tell you something, I mean it.
Well, there you see the Nature Boy who so nicely left his peroxide filled comb here at our broadcast position.
Just keep that away from my coat jacket. That would fade everything I have to white, almost like his hair.
Private Terry Daniels is his opponent, a man who is very, very proud of his heritage from the Marine Corps and also very, very proud of all the men that served in Operation Desert Storm. But there's a man who's just very proud of himself, the Nature Boy, Buddy Landau.
Well, I'm sure he served in Operation Buddy, which was going around and checking out every restaurant in South Florida. Terry Daniels, a great-looking athlete. Look at the shape on this guy. A number, probably millions of fans out there watching this show have served in the military in some capacity, in the active military or in the reserves, maybe both. Terry Daniels, a proud Marine.
Now, did you see that? Buddy Landau looks right at the camera and says, is it on? Worried about how he was looking, so much so that Terry, pulling the hair.
Yeah.
Or could you say pull of the peroxide there?
I would not put my hands in Buddy Landau's hair on a bet. I tell you what, it would clean him off pretty good. But Buddy Landau, talk about Mr. Attitude. Calls himself the Nature Boy. And boy, we know how many other Nature Boys there have been in wrestling. But Buddy Landau says he is the Nature Boy of the 90s. That all the other ones that came before are old news. He is here and he is now, and he says he's the only nature boy. But I'll tell you what, this ex-Marine Terry Daniels is really taking it to Mr. Peroxide.
And I'll tell you something about Private Terry Daniels. Here's a man who not only is excelling in wrestling, he, as a matter of fact, came to the Global Dome tonight wearing his full football outfit because he just finished a full workout for his semi-pro football team that he plays for.
Absolutely. Terry Daniels, a well-rounded athlete, as most everybody in the GWF is. Have other interest in sports and interest in other sports, I should say, have had histories in other sports. They want to come to the GWF because this is real competition.
Well, I don't know if he plays a kicker, but it sure was on the mark there. Count of one, count of two from senior referee Sean O'Brien.
I'd say it was a successful point after attempt there for Terry Daniels, and Buddy Landell is begging off, wanting to call timeout, but we all know there are no timeouts in wrestling.
At least not that we know of. Of course, the GWF with all sorts of innovations in professional wrestling. And I'm sure Buddy Landell will petition the competition committee for that. Right now, Terry Daniels comes down with the elbow onto the bicep of the upper leg.
Oh, my goodness, the bicep of the upper leg. And Buddy Landell, once again, is in a predicament here as Terry Daniels look for some crowd approval. And to be honest with you, Craig, in a situation like that, you don't look to the crowd for approval. You move in for the kill, especially on somebody like Landell. And here's the reason why, as Buddy's back on top.
Landell, a master of trickery and deceit, but it's not going to help there. Count of one, count of two. Another near fall. Landell saying it's time to take charge here. The big soup bone coming down right there. Roll up, small package, count of one. That's 5 times now we've had a 2 count as Buddy Landell has been so close to being upset by the much smaller man, Private Terry Daniels. But this has been a great match. Daniels going for the roll-up, rolls him up for a count of 2. That's 6 now.
Buddy Landell has not been taken to the limit like this in a long time, and look at him. He knows it. He knows what kind of trouble he's in. He's backing off, grabbing the rope, trying to kill for time in there, and Terry Daniels is having none of it. He is ready, but he couldn't have been ready for that.
Well, the very well-placed boot of Buddy Landell from Jacksonville, Florida, puts the big right hand over the top. Goes Private Terry Daniels.
That is a right hand to be proud of. Now, here we are. Look at this. That's a right hand to be proud of by Buddy Landell as he just sent Terry Daniels over the top rope onto this hard floor here at the Global Dome. And I think Terry Daniels is really feeling the effects out there. I don't know what Buddy's done, but he's made that fist extra hard for this match against the Private.
Terry Daniels draped over the top rope and a forearm to the upper back. Landell tried to bring him in through the middle rope. I think he was upset that he didn't come in. And now, one more time, he finally brings him in the hard way, just pulling him over, places the toe of the boot into the sternum. Daniels trying to fight back, gets a couple of blows, gets a right hook, goes with a left hook. The Private, who in the Marine Corps was a boxer, showing some of it there. High onto the second rope. Time to pummel the Nature Boy, but watch out, reverse atomic drop. The Nature Boy down with a spinning elbow as only he can do it. Count of 2, count of 3. The winner of the match, Nature Boy, Buddy Landell. When we return, Bonnie Blackstone with a viewer's comment of the debut on Major League Wrestling of Rasta the Voodoo Man.
In the Global Dome, Bonnie Blackstone back with another one of our faithful GWF viewers here. This is Freddie, and you wanted to make some comment or ask a question about Mucka Singh and some of his recent actions.
There's no reason to ask you a question, Bonnie. No reason at all. As far as Mr. Singh goes, you should know, these wrestling fans all across the country should know, that they have been duped. They have been duped by an evil genius. You know it. They know it. They are about to see Mr. Singh rule global wrestling.
The Global Wrestling Federation's most intimidating creature from Montego Bay, Jamaica, Rasta the Voodoo Man, the Mammoth from Montego Bay.
My memories of Jamaica certainly don't include anybody like this. This guy is a monster. He brings that snake stick into the ring. He's got the face paint on. He's got the haircut, and above everything else, he's got that body. Is there anybody in the GWF that can stand up to this man?
Well, I don't know. I'd really like to know why he brings that snake stick into the ring. It might be, well, he's pointing at the Diaz and his
knee. Is it a knee?
Pointing to his knee. Well, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe this is something kind of I was about to say pre-game ritual, but it's a pre-match ritual by the Mammoth Mon from Montego Bay.
Well, now look at it. Look at Diaz. Look at Diaz is favoring his knee. What happened? What happened after Rasta touched his knee with the snake stick? Now Diaz is having trouble with his knee. What gives on that?
Well,
this is strange. This is very strange.
And Diaz is perplexed himself. Well, we're ready for action. Brian Diaz, a man who has held many a title against Rasta the Voodoo Man, a mystery of sorts, other than the fact that with his mammoth size, over 6'7", over 318 pounds, going against Brian Diaz, a man who has held many a tag team title, including in the World Class Wrestling Association and in the USWA. But you're also talking about a situation where, oh my, Rasta the Voodoo Man is something you can't prepare for.
Oh, here we go. A test of strength request here from Rasta against young Brian Diaz. And Brian Diaz is no small man by his own right. He dwarfs both you and I, Craig, but in the ring against Rasta, he looks like a child. He looks like a midget wrestler in there.
Look at the mammoth hand on the Mammoth Mon. Well, Diaz says, hey, I'm ready for anything.
You got to give young Diaz credit here. He knows he's up against a man who's got him beat by 6 inches in height, 6, 7 inches in height. No telling how much weight, 100 pounds in weight, maybe more. And he's going in there just head up, want to test this man out to see what he's made of.
Well, here comes the test of strength, and the Voodoo Man clamps on the Voodoo Hans as he has Adidas cowering on his knees. Brian Diaz, a former Texas heavyweight champion. That may be a state that he'd like to go back to after visiting the land of the Voodoo Man here, because once the Voodoo Man steps into a ring, it's his territory.
Well, how in the world can you prepare to go into the ring against Rasta the Voodoo Man? You can rent a lot of those strange movies that always seem to be in the video store when you come in late at night or something, but other than that, how do you prepare? What does he do? Who has he wrestled? How does he know how to wrestle?
And who is he talking to? He's not talking to senior referee Sean O'Brien. I know that. He just looks straight up and starts talking to someone. Diaz trying to get a second wind here, as ever since he started the match with a test of strength, he's been battling an uphill battle.
Right as Diaz started to make some kind of move toward getting out of this test of strength and doing something against Rasta, just a little kick there, and Diaz goes right back down to the mat. This man's kick could probably demolish the Global Dome in 2 or 3 kicks. Unbelievable strength in this man.
There you see Brian Diaz trying to keep some strength. That clamp has been on now, and Diaz escapes, puts a drop kick onto the Voodoo Man, who may have been a little bit surprised about that, has a surprised look on his face. As a matter of fact, he may be upset that Diaz knocked some of that ritualistic face makeup off of his face.
Absolutely. You could see the look of consternation on the face of Rasta the Voodoo Man as he does not like somebody messing with his makeup. And here's Diaz coming back now.
Brian Diaz with the right hand, but the Voodoo Man won't go down. Knee to the midsection. There's the elbow. Now a right, but the Voodoo Man still stands. Trying to go after all the body as opposed to staying with one body part. The Voodoo Man seems to concentrate on one body part, but right now, Brian Diaz just trying to see what he can do, and finally gets the Voodoo Man down to a knee.
That's a big task to undertake right there, getting the man down to a knee, but he picks him back up. That could be a mistake, but no.
There's the elbow by Diaz. Diaz would like to try to finish off the Voodoo Man. Now on the second rope, he pulls down the knee pad, gets ready, and comes down.
The knee.
Count of 1, count of 2, count of 3. Wait a minute. That was the knee from before.
That's exactly right. This is eerie.
Now, if we can, let's go back to the beginning of the match. Go back and you saw, yeah, right there, it was Diaz just absolutely shaking off the knee, and now, as we come back to live action, you see it's that same knee. We'll be back. This is scary.
Fans, two members of the notorious cartel, the return of the hustler Rip Rogers and the unwelcome return of the maniacal Makhan Singh.
And what's happening in the Global Wrestling Federation is that the cartel is here. The cartel is here featuring me, Hustler Rip Rogers, and the #1 super heavyweight in all the world today, Makhan Singh. And we're here in the Global Wrestling Federation to wreak havoc to anybody that gets in the cartel's way. Remember what the boss said, Makhan.
You know something, Ripper? When the boss speaks, we all listen. The boss hands out the big money. The boss gives the orders, and we listen. You know something? It's time to show the world what a great, great trio, maybe more, we put together. It's time to rule the world once again. The boss told me, get ready, get set. It's time to destroy. Anybody wants to climb to them ropes, anybody wants to come in the building, anybody even wants to come in the city we're in, the state we're in, the country we're in, it's time to destroy them. Boss, we're doing it for you.
Fantasma, one of the biggest stars of Lucha Libre in Mexico, of the WWA, going against Sweet Daddy Falcone from New York City, New York, and I know for a fact Sweet Daddy has not visited south of the border.
Not legally anyway. Sweet Daddy Falcone coming into this match with kind of a brawling background. Fantasma comes in from the WWA, the Lucha Libre Mexican Wrestling Federation down south of the border, as you said, Craig. And let me say this about the Lucha Libre. It is 100% high flying, off the top rope, off the ropes into the stands, off the apron, onto the floor. They do not really put a lot of credence in working the left arm, figure 4 leg locks, that sort of thing. This is high flying at its best. Sweet Daddy Falcone, attitude at its worst, but he can brawl. Grew up brawling in the back alleys of New York City. This is going to be a great contest here, mixing two very, very different styles.
Fantasma with a low center of gravity, still a well-built body, going against a man who, as we call ourselves the world's tallest announcing team, he dwarfs us. He's up there about 6'5", 6'6". But right now, Fantasma puts him where all men are equal, down on the mat.
We absolutely can see one thing here, and that is the influence of the Global Wrestling Federation on world wrestling across the entire globe, if you will, Craig. Fantasma from Mexico. We're going to see stars from Austria, from Spain, from England. We're going to see wrestlers from Japan here. This is truly a global wrestling federation.
Well, right now, the man from the United States, Sweet Daddy Falcone, at the side headlock, gets Fantasma down with a shoulder tackle, leaps over top, a leapfrog there. Fantasma with the big arm drag, gets him with a drop kick. Sweet Daddy Falcone says, come on, bring it back. And Falcone says, wait a minute, hold on a sec. I'm not used to getting hit with drop kicks this quick, this fast.
Well, you can see the bully coming out in Sweet Daddy Falcone. I'm sure when he was roaming the back alleys of New York City, if a little punk kid came up and hit him, he said, yeah, hit me again. That's exactly what he did to Fantasma. Fantasma hit him again and dropped him out of the ring.
Fantasma, all we know about the man is he is from the WWA, one of the champions down there, and we do know that he is very, very proud of the mask that he wears, as many Lucha Libre man is. Those are the sense of pride, and if you lose your mask, you've lost a lot of your pride there. Losing a lot of his consternation there is Sweet Daddy Falcone. He was losing his bearings on where he was, having to move up, down, and all around, trying to catch up with Fantasma.
What a great name for a wrestler, Fantasma. We know he wasn't born with a mask and given the name Fantasma by his mom down in Mexico. But it truly is a very descriptive name of this man. He is a fantastic wrestler, and as much Mexican as I know, I'm sure Phantasma translates into fantastic somehow or other down there. And he is a fantastic wrestler, but now Sweet Daddy Falcone dropping those fists into the head of Phantasma. He's not so Phantasma now.
Phantasma may be feeling a little bit of the effects of the advantage of height and weight of Sweet Daddy Falcone, and also the brawling style, as you mentioned. Falcone comes down with a big elbow. That could do it, but no, Phantasma is able to maneuver out of the cover.
Very close, about 2 9/10 there on the count by senior referee Sean O'Brien. And let's take just a minute. It's great to... Well, that's an
obviously we took a minute too long there.
Absolutely. As I was going to say, senior referee Sean O'Brien, the most respected official here in the GWF. That's why he's assigned these tough matches. If you see Sean O'Brien in the match, you know it's probably going to be two guys who could very easily get out of control. Referee Sean O'Brien easily maintains control.
Sweet Daddy Falcone went for the high-risk maneuver. Phantasma gets him on the cover. Falcone powers out of the move. And Phantasma sends him in. No, reversal. Phantasma gets the knees up. Kicks out. Goes up high. Drop kick. Right off the ropes. Falcone running for cover, but the cover goes to the man from Mexico.
And the winner of the match, Phantasma.
We'll recap the big TV tournament action from the past week when we return.
Be the end of Billy Black's very short attempt to win the global television title. Oh, he got his knees up.
The knees are up, and he's got a hold of the tights, but it's a count of 3.
World, very, very exciting. It's going to be a great match later on today.
Bulldog by Randy Rhodes. You might say good night to Sweet Daddy. Good night, Sweet Daddy. 9-9 there.
Oh, my goodness, it was too close. The Patriot barely out of it. Lane. Oh, we can't get him up.
Oh, Cornette goes down. Roll up. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. To the ring, and Phantasma now being had at the hands of Bill Irwin.
Thank you for not saying the global object. Oh. There's the gut-wrench suplex. Count of 1, count of 2, count of 3. There's a possible DDT coming. Hello.
Nobody's going to get up from that.
It's time to go to the glue factory for the Zebra Kid.
Oh, no.
Oh!
Oh, my God.
Private Terry Daniels.
Can you put cast on ribs?
Well, I think this may be a discharge.
Walker perched and ready in that top corner.
And if Summers doesn't get up, Walker may be counted out, but hello there!
Oh.
Cross body block, 1, 2, 3!
By the Hitman, he couldn't, and down he went for a 2 count.
Reversal by Rogers, gets him down, DDT! This sales call may be over, 1, 2... A series of forearms, and referee Sean O'Brien. Axel Rotten has him and hits Adrian Street with it. Puts it under his arm. Count of 1, count of 2, count of 3.
Can anything destroy Rasta?
Here comes Gaylord in and hits his shoulder.
The shoulder.
The shoulder. Count of 1, count of 2, count of 3.
Just dropped. He just dropped. Well, what is this?
What is he doing? Trying to make it look like a easy pin. Oh, come on. 3 times. Gorgeous Gary Young. Reversal by Nature Boy Buddy Land on the roll-up. He reverses it. Leg on the rope, but he gets the count of 3.
Oh, that's just terrible.
Kansas City, Missouri, a man who said football got to be a little bit too easy. I needed to get in, mix it up. Jeff Gaylord.
As a former football player, I can tell you anybody that says football is too easy is up a couple of notches in my book, and I believe it from the Missouri Tiger, Jeff Gaylord. He is really put together in there, and I'll tell you what, he can go head up with somebody just like Tugboat Taylor, who is a big, massive, thick guy, or he can go just as hard at it with the guy who comes off the top rope.
Tug Taylor, a mammoth individual, but What you're talking about here is a guy who, with 3 different teams in the USFL, the San Antonio Gunslingers, the Boston Breakers, and the New Orleans Breakers. Okay, 2 teams, 1 move. He played nose tackle. He was used to those big guys standing across the line from him.
Jeff Gaylord, no doubt about it. You can just take a look at the guy and see he is built from head to toe, full of muscle. But now against Tug Taylor, what has Tug Taylor announced that weight-wise? Did we get that? Have they built a scale that big yet? This guy is massive. And you'll see Jeff Gaylord against the big tugboat now as he falls out of the ring onto the floor.
Well, the Missouri Tiger, really a fan favorite here. Well-built body, spends a lot of time in the gym. And the reason he spends a lot of time in the gym, he's got, brought in Tug Taylor over the top rope. As I was saying, the reason he spends so much time in the gym, he has to live up to the reputation of the man who holds more Big 8 weightlifting records than any other individual when he was at the University of Missouri.
And he has translated that well into professional wrestling as he uses his strength as an asset, not as a liability. Now, whoa!
Well, the big man obviously might have tried out for the gymnastics team at his school with a cartwheel that got a 5 from the American judge, but the Russian judge seemed to like it.
I'll tell you what, the seismograph people over at UT Arlington are going nuts because they felt this aftershock down here, thinking the Los Angeles quake has moved east. Good heavens.
My, oh my. Well, it's Tug Taylor in control of the man from the Show Me State.
He's showing him all right. The first time I ever saw Tug Taylor, Craig, I got to tell you this story. We all tell our wrestling stories. Here's one for you. Driving down I-75 through Georgia, just north of Macon, Georgia, as we're coming south on I-75. This guy driving a Yugo was forced by the State Patrol to pull over and go through a truck weigh station. He's so big.
Well, I can understand why.
He had his manifest in order.
Obviously, you were talking earlier about how heavy this gentleman was. I've been given a note from the back that they had to get a truck scale to weigh him before the weigh-in tonight.
I believe it.
And Tug Taylor all the way to the wall, going right into that shoulder as he went for the big shoulder block right towards Gaylord, but Gaylord's best defense, being the Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year back in 1981, knew this. You just get out of the way.
Just get right out of the way. That's the easiest way to escape a block. You don't sit there and fight and struggle and try to get around. When he comes right at you, you sidestep, let him go past you. You take off right after the quarterback. That's what Jeff Gaylord did at Missouri and into the USFL. That's what he just did with Tug Taylor.
Taylor now getting that left shoulder worked on along with the left arm, and the elbow coming down from the former Missouri Tiger, an AP All-American first-team defensive tackle. Back then, he was 6'3", weighed about 225. He is now bulked up a good 35 pounds.
Coming in at an even 260, Jeff Gaylord, and he's put together. You don't see an awful lot of wasted flesh on the big Missouri Tiger, Jeff Gaylord.
Trying to waste some flesh right there was Tug Taylor as he was trying to take it out of the eyes and the forehead of Jeff Gaylord. Gaylord trying to get his bearings.
Despite the obvious wasted flesh joke I could pull here, I'm not.
Thank you very much. I'm sure Jeff Gaylord would appreciate that right here as he is having trouble getting some of the air back after the punishment inflicted by big Tug Taylor. Taylor, no slouch himself, has held many title down in the South Texas area. Just threw Jeff Gaylord out, and I don't even think today is trash day the way he threw it out.
It ought to be, because Jeff Gaylord got tossed out like last night's pizza box. He hit that floor awfully hard. The seismograph people at UT Arlington, like we said, are just going nuts. All these just crashes here at the Global Dome.
Well, right now we're talking about big forearms by Tug Taylor. Gaylord beating the count back into the ring. He says, I think I've had about enough of this. Psyching himself up.
Oh, yeah.
Making sure that he doesn't beat the ring, and Tug Taylor does. Gaylord pouncing. Says, hey, you haven't seen this? this part of the Global Dome as he continues his conducted tour. Taylor breaks the momentum of Gaylord and now will try to break a little bit more with a big splash as he just drops him down. Going up to the top. Maybe I was a little bit premature with a big splash because this looks like you could feel it from coast to coast. Oh, but Gaylord out of the way.
My cup just fell off the podium. I'm not kidding. It just fell off. This thing shook. Unbelievable.
Gaylord back to the rope. The clothesline. Nails the big Tug Taylor to the second rope. High to the third rope. The Missouri Tiger gets the big drop kick from the top rope. There's the count of 3 by Sean O'Brien. Let's get the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of this match, Sept Gaylord.
Iceman Parsons trying to get the advantage here. Slips it into a side headlock. Travis escapes, and then gets hit by the shoulder. Step over by Parsons 2 times. Backdrop! Backdrop on the hammer! Backdrop on Iceman! Backdrop on the hammer! And backing out! In my day, I've seen rapid-fire forearms, rapid-fire kicks, but never rapid-fire backdrops like Billy Joe Travis did there. Iceman's a little upset. And Hammer doesn't quite know how to take it. Well, now that a little respect has been earned by Billy Joe Travis, Iceman King Parsons rather tentative about approaching him. Parsons wants to do things on his own terms. Travis goes to work on the arm tag into Chris Germany. Germany right into the bicep muscle. Now yanking at the arm, and Parsons with a chop. Right on target. Headbutt by the Iceman. And tags into the hammer. Hammer with a forearm. The chop. Hammer very much into himself. Has those forearms taped up. Leads to some speculation. Won't get into it here, however. The hammer with the elbow. Right on the chin. And this man has an attitude. The southpaw. Gets a boot. And escorts Germany right into the soul. Tag into the Iceman. A look of approval as he enters the ring. What a kick to the side of the head. These two men think they are taking care of business.
You people better be fair, because the Iceman is here. I like this pump.
Parsons taking Germany way back before showing him the turnbuckle. He thinks he's got everything under control. And with that chop, you can see why. Germany reached for the tag, couldn't quite get the tag to Travis. The suplex. Twisted over. Count of 1, count of 2. He could have easily had a count of 3, but the Iceman pulled him up. Hammer coming in, no tag there. Then Germany, double elbow. No tag made. James Beard having words with Billy Joe Travis. Not realizing the chicanery going on behind. Hammer with a twist and comes down with a clothesline. It was not a twist, it was a somersault, getting my gymnastics mixed up, and Travis with a big right. He's had about enough. But the Hammer with a devastating clothesline. Into the boot again. This team is working well together. The Hammer, Iceman King Parsons, with Chris Germany in the ring. Misses with a chop. Tries the punch, misses with that. Germany, oh, didn't miss with that. That one right on target. High five and the tag into the Hammer. The Hammer with that forearm to the top of the head. Rolls him up, count of 1, count of 2, count of 3. You gotta wonder about the wrapping on the Hammer's arm. But Iceman King Parsons and the Hammer with an impressive victory.
Fans, he's the exotic Adrian Street. He has been in Global Wrestling Federation for 5 years. But remember, the Global Wrestling Federation has only recently come to the United States. He has been part of Global Europe. But now he's in the United States. He's the exotic Adrian Street.
And I've been a global European heavyweight champion on 5 different occasions. I've never actually lost it. I've just merely abdicated every time I've left that area. I'm talking about belts. If you own a champion's belt, mix with me and watch it melt. You'll feel like you have never felt. You'll find out how to lose. Because in the ring, I'll be to you, your master and your mistress too. You may not like the things I do, but how can you refuse? And how can you wrestling fans refuse to watch global professional wrestling? It's the best professional wrestling anywhere in the world today.
Absolutely right. He's the exotic Adrian Street. He's going to be a mainstay here in Global Championship Wrestling. Watch for the exotic one. He is the Global Wrestling Federation European Connection. He's the exotic Adrian Street. Now back to Major League Wrestling.
Thanks, Scott. Well, we've got some exciting action coming up for you next week, but a couple things I want to talk about this week. How about the debut of Rasta the Voodoo Man? He's a scary individual, to say the least. And talk about scary, the transformation between the lovable Norman and this monster known as Muckam Singh. Jeff Gaylord in action, had a very good match. A lot of things coming up for Jeff Gaylord, which I'm sure he's very excited about. Also, we saw Big Bully Busick with a Bully Blaster. A lot of people still think that is a hard punch, and that will be something that will be definitely looked into by the competition committee of the Global Wrestling Federation. Next week, we will see the debut of an exciting individual, the Lightning Kid, as he comes in to the Global Wrestling Federation here on Major League Wrestling. For our entire crew,